Good morning, friends and family. Welcome back to Cooking with Carol Diane. This morning, I'm going to cook a little favorite of mine. It's coming up Valentine's Day, and the other day I showed you how to make the little turnover. Well, today we're going to be making a cake, but it's a simple little cake. And this morning I got up and the first thing I did is I made myself a cup of tea. I treat myself, and I found my little heart-shaped teacup and saucer, and so I brought that out and made myself a cup of tea. And then, believe it or not, I've got to plug this because I have 3 of them now. This is what's called a cute little waffle maker. It's nostalgia, and you find them at Walmart, believe it or not. A good friend of mine bought me one that was the round waffles, not the heart-shaped one, at Christmas time for my little vintage camper, because she knows that I like to have small things in there. That or my fifth wheel will work just fine. And trust me, this is a find for a single person or just 2 people. Instead of getting out that great big waffle iron and cooking 4 waffles and you have all of it left over and you have all that batter left over, this is what you need to buy. This morning I made the heart-shaped ones. Aren't they adorable? Little ones, aren't they adorable? And the little machine looks like this. The round one looks the very same. I have a pink one for my camper, and then I went back and I bought the round one just so that I could have it every day. My husband and I use it all the time. We don't even have to have syrup and all the goodies on it. We just put some butter on it and start eating them. This is the little heart one that I found today. You make the batter the same as you would anything. The simplest one is the Bisquick box of pancakes and waffles, and it's about 2 cups of the Bisquick and a tablespoon of vegetable oil, 1 egg, and about a cup of milk. Whisk all that together and put about a tablespoon in here is all you'll need on these cute little things. And you will have you a nice little breakfast for 1 or 2. So I'll tell you about that today because I started out with that. Then I went to the store to buy my fresh supplies, and because I like to do for my granddaughter, I just kind of went down memory lane this morning in the stores, and I was absolutely shocked, to tell you the truth. Years ago when I was a child, Valentine's Day was something special. It really was during the year at school. Kids would get together in their classrooms, and they would, first of all, you were on the hunt to find just the nicest box of Valentines, and this is all I came up with today, which again, I was just kind of flabbergasted. I looked at this and there was only about 4 different styles, not very pretty ones, just kind of what I call kind of babyish little Valentines. Now you get 16 in here with some stickers, but in my day and in my kids when they went to grade school, this was a big deal that you hunted for your box of Valentines. And also with your Valentines, you made a Valentine's box. Remember those? People my age do. That you would take some shoe box and you would decorate it, and you would cut a slit in the top of the box long ways, and that's where you stuck your Valentines in, the ones that you received. So at school, and nobody was left out. The teacher made sure every child, had their Valentine for the other student in the class. So however many was in the class, that's how many cards that you had to buy, and write some funny little thing on, or just say I like you or whatever, or just say Happy Valentine's Day and sign your name. Then you would stick it in their box, their Valentine's box, for the party that day. Later I got to where, well, all of us did in the class, that we bought, remember these, of the little heart-shaped candies? Well, this is how they come now. They came a lot bigger box back in grade school, and they would have, kiss me, love you, be mine on there. This is all I found today, were these tiny little boxes. Again, I kind of came out of the store very disappointed about Valentine's Day for kids, because it's just not done the same way that I had when I went to school or when my children went to school. So with that being said, doesn't mean that when you're an adult, you can't have some fun for the Valentine's Day. Because we're all cooped in our houses, you can still have a nice dinner for two and bake something special for your sweetheart. So today, what I'm going to bake is a Black Forest cake. Simple one. The ingredients that you'll need, any cake mix, Betty Crocker, Duncan Hines, whatever, as long as it's devil's food. That's one. You will need some powdered sugar. You will need a can, just one can, of cherry pie filling. You'll need some almond extract, and you will need some Cool Whip. You're going to need 2 containers of this, and these are 8-ounce containers, and that's a full cup in there, so you're going to need 2 of these. And you will need some almond slivers. Just a little bag like this will do just fine. Okay, so I went ahead and I baked my cake, just basic of what it says on the cake box. That's all you'll need to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cakes out of their pans. Here's the cakes out of their pans. And just kind of judge which one. Maybe you got one that is a little fuller on top, which that's this one for me. These cake pans go clear back. This is all we used growing up. You can't even find them anymore. I mean, you definitely have to go to an antique store or something, order them online that have these. And I'll show you why. So this, I'll just use my bowl for the drippings here, is so handy because you don't have to run a knife around or do any of that. You just take this little arm here and it goes all around the bottom of your cake and loosens your cake, and that's what you want. Dump it upside down. I kind of brush off the little crumbs here. Just kind of brush them off. And then we're going to go ahead and put it on a nice little cake plate. So we're going to set the first one down first. I said this is so easy, so quick to do. I have made this in my campers before. I make a lot of things that in my campers that you don't, when you're going camping or you're going someplace and you want some homemade something. This is one of them. Okay, so now I'm going to take the Cool Whip, and you can take, lower this down. In my little recipe box, this is my little recipe box. It's not so little, is it? And in my little recipe box are my cards in here that look like this, that I've had all these years. These are my little birds watching me how I cook. These are little polymer clay birds that I made on a line one year. And they just kind of rest up there and watch me. That's my recipe box. Okay, so you're going to take the whipped cream and you're just going to kind of scoop it out and put in your, if you don't have a blender, you don't want to do it this way, you don't have to. You can do it in a bowl and you can fold in the ingredients, but I'm just going to do it this way. You also can make your whipped cream from scratch. But who wants to do that nowadays when you've got these? So that's one. And here's the second one. And put 2 containers in. Thaw out your whipped cream. One was completely thawed out. The other one a little bit frozen, but don't worry about it. Try to thaw it out at room temperature before you put it in your mixer. Okay? And I just kind of start my mixer, I just kind of start my mixer on low, whipping it. And then you're going to take a half a cup of powdered sugar. And you're going to incorporate that into your whipped cream. Okay? Until it's just kind of nice and blended. Blended in there. If you were working with homemade whipped cream that you were doing, you would beat this until the whipped cream has stiff peaks to it. You don't have to do that so much with the whipped cream that comes from the grocery store. It's all ready to go. Okay. give it a whirl here with your rubber spatula and make sure it's all blended in there nice, which it is. Okay, then you're going to take in a bowl. I just used a separate bowl here. And we're going to take out the cherry pie filling. Just stick it in a bowl because it's easier to work with your cake if it's in a bowl like this. So just put it in a bowl, like so. And then we're going to take 1 teaspoon of almond extract. And the original recipe calls for, which I don't have on hand this morning, I apologize, I used a lot of it at Christmas time. It calls for 2 or 3 tablespoons of brandy that you can put in here, which does make it really good also. But I'm just going with the almond extract for right now. Now, trust me, this is really simple. So we're going to take a big helping scoop of the whipped cream, a couple of them. And we're just going to be like you're icing a cake. You're just going to put it on the layer. Make sure you get all the way to the edges really well because you want that to kind of show when you put your next layer, your top layer of your cake on. You want all that whipped cream and good stuff to show. Okay. If you don't feel you have enough, add some more on there. And then you're going to take your filling here of your cherry pie filling, and you're going to put that on. And you're going to get it kind of out to the sides. Doesn't matter if it overlaps and comes out. The more the merrier. Really, truly. It really doesn't matter if it drips down the sides. It's going to look pretty. It's going to be fine. Okay, so that's your cherry pie filling. And again, we're going to take one more. Easy, easy. If you don't have these in your kitchen, I highly recommend them. I have struggled at other people's homes when they wanted me to bake a cake and all they had was a standard cake pan, because these work so well. Okay, we're going to put this one on top. Just kind of give it a little squash, and now you can see how that cherry mixture is kind of coming out of the cake. That's what we want. That's great. Just so fun to do these little projects. Baking from the heart of what you might remember of growing up, or you see somebody else make it in their kitchen. And used to be years ago, I joined a sorority in my 30s, and we had to make a lot of things. And I would sit there in other kitchens, ladies' kitchens, and I would just watch and observe how they were baking something or putting something together, and kind of stuck in my head. A lot of them didn't like to share their recipes. You know, it's kind of a secret on certain recipes, and that's okay. That's all right. Okay. Now we're going to take the remainder. Like I said, it's up to you how much you want to put in the middle of your cake, your Black Forest cake. You can even do a little well here so that you get all these good cherries to go on top. And then I like to take the almonds right here. I just take them out and put them in a little bowl. And you can do it one at a time as far as the decoration, or you can just kind of sprinkle them on like this, however you want to do it, just to make sure that they go all the way around your cake. If you have somebody in your family that can't have any kind of nuts, then by all means leave them off. But it is kind of what makes the cake. Simple and easy, isn't it? I told you. My little cooking show here is simple little easy recipes anybody can do. You don't need a lot of ingredients. And you don't need to be like the pioneering grandparents that you're in your kitchen all day. It's all about not being in the kitchen that long all day. And there's your pretty little cake for Valentine's Day or any time, your Black Forest cake that was made from my kitchen to yours. And I hope you have enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time on Cooking with Carol Diane. Bye-bye now.